How's it going, gamers? Chongo here, and today I've got a gameplay commentary for you guys. The gameplay is of Black Ops 2 on the PC, and today's commentary topic is video game addiction, so let's get into it. So anyway, I want to start off by saying that video game addiction is something really easy to fall into. It's kind of harder the older you get, but when you're young and in primary school or high school or something like that, it's quite easy to fall into this just because yeah, it's something really easy to do and fun to do. And when you're doing high school and primary school, most of your high school stuff doesn't take up that much time. Towards the end in grades 11 and 12, obviously it does, but grade 8 and every pretty much year in primary school, most of the things that you're doing aren't hard and they don't take up much time at all. Like I remember back when I was in grade 7, when we had all our homework, I just left it to the very last minute and spent like 20 minutes, did it all, it was completely right. So it's not really that hard, and I felt primary school was sort of holding you back, and obviously I turned to games and I played that when I got home. I mean, I was a pretty big RuneScape player in primary school. I don't really play it at all anymore, and yeah, obviously that's where most people's games addictions usually come into MMOs. And that's why I'm sort of glad at the moment I'm not really playing any MMOs, and I haven't felt the need to. And since with the majority of MMOs you have to pay a monthly fee, when you start paying that fee it sort of forces you to want to play and just push everything else aside, because you can't really skip it, because yeah, if you miss out you're technically wasting your money. That's why I like buying games that obviously don't have subscription fees or anything like that, because if you're not going to play it one night it won't affect you in the least. You can just go back to it and play it the next night or in a couple of days. It's not really going to affect the game itself. So as I said before, it's something that you sort of grow out of. Well, in my experience that's what it was. And I've never really in my past have had any really long gaming sessions. Like I used to play Xbox quite a bit during high school, and it would just be something that, yeah, I'd sit there for hours and play it, but I've heard stories of other people play for like 12 hours and all that, and I just could never do that. To me, that it just gets to the point where, yeah, it's just too much. I need to get up and do something else, or walk around, go and do some exercise, something other than just looking at a screen for that amount of time. And I'm finding the older I get, the harder and harder it is for me to sit down and play games hours on end. I'm not sure whether this is just because I'm growing up from being a child to now pretty much an adult, or whether it's just gaming isn't really interesting me as much as it used to back when I was a child and it was pretty much new to me. And my Steam playtime for the last 2 weeks was 37.5 hours, and I thought that was interesting to find out that on average that's only like 2.5 hours a day. For the past 2 weeks that I've been playing games. I only really play games through Steam because I'm pretty much a PC gamer now. But it's just interesting to see back in the day, you know, 2.5 hours a day, that would have been, you know, minimal when I was back in high school or primary school. Whereas now, that's obviously the average that I play. And yeah, I'm still enjoying gaming. It's just my playtime for gaming has been declining pretty much. Now obviously you could find many different websites or articles, books or anything like that that would tell you exactly how much you should be playing a day, but the way I look at it is you should pretty much be able to tell yourself. So if you've been playing for like, I don't know, 12 hours straight, obviously that's excessive, but yeah, you should just be able to tell yourself if afterwards you're not feeling very happy and yeah, you just feel disgusting and it wasn't really enjoyable, then obviously you've been playing too much. I mean, if gaming isn't becoming enjoyable for you, like for the time you're playing it, let's just say you played for 6 hours, then obviously that's too much for you, so you should only play like 2 hours a day, or yeah, just pretty much obviously limit it to yourself. And if you're not really feeling bad about it, then you obviously don't really have an addiction. But if it gets to the point it's interfering with other stuff in your life, then obviously that it's extreme, and that's when you need to, yeah, change it up. But yeah, personally I've found that during high school, I think it was my first year, my grades were kind of bad because of how much games I played, but then yeah, as high school progressed, my grades got better because yeah, my game time obviously went down a bit. So yeah, I think it should be something that you dictate to yourself if you're playing too much games, and obviously it'll be something that you know, it's something that's not really hidden from you, unless in extreme circumstances when you don't realize you're playing 12 hours a day or whatever. But yeah, that's like really extreme, but for the most part you should be able to know whether you're playing too much games. And yeah, it should be you who's setting the limit yourself, not someone else telling you not to play games, because obviously if something like that comes into play, that's going to force you to want to play more. And obviously as you get older, your commitments change, you get a job, that sort of thing, so obviously you're not going to be able to clock up anywhere near as many hours as you did when you were a child or in high school or anything like that. So for the most part you should be able to grow out of video game addiction. I mean, obviously some people don't want to, but yeah, it's just growing up, and it's a fact of life that yeah, you're probably going to, even if you could, like, you may stay liking games or whatever for pretty much your whole life, but yeah, just the amount of time you play on them will be decreased, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, as some people may think, but yeah, it's not really bad. It just means, yeah, you're playing less of them, and when you do play them, you still enjoy it. This brings me to the end of my commentary on video game addiction. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and I want to hear your guys' responses to this, whether, like, how many hours you play, or whether you've noticed, obviously, your hours decreasing as you get older, or anything like that, so put them below, and if you want to join the Gamerhood, just subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.